Hello! Welcome to a second-hand unboxing of Centipede press titles. I almost said Cemetery Dance, but it's not Cemetery Dance, it's Centipede Press. Please excuse the breast cancer supporting scissors. My actual scissors were taken for gift wrapping purposes. So in here are 3 books, 2 of which are Centipede Press titles. The third one's not actually Centipede Press, but it was a book that I was looking forward to, so I couldn't resist picking it up, which I think is going to be this one, based on the size and the fact that it is paperback. So, no easy tear tab there, so we're going to bust out the old pink scissors again. Sharp as hell. Extracted blood the other day. But, you know, it is what it is. So, thank you very much to Joel for selling me these wonderful, wonderful books. This, first up, is not the Centipede Press title. This is Abaddon's Gate by James S.A. Corey. It is book 3. Book 3 of The Expanse. It's a 9-book series by James S.A. Corey, which is a combination of Daniel Abraham and some other guy, some other author who I am insulting right now because I don't remember what your name is. So, and the signature is not giving me any assistance. Man. So this is the Orbit paperback. Very nice. It is signed. Ty Frank, or Frank. Sorry, Ty. I knew Daniel Abraham. So Ty Frank is George R. R. Martin's assistant. Oh, that's really cool. I don't know where he had purchased this from originally, but I know there were signed copies of a bunch of Expanse titles available through Beastly Books, which is George R. R. Martin's bookstore. He owns a bookstore and a movie theater. Well, I have several signed copies. I have not read The Expanse yet, but there are several signed copies that I have of the various titles throughout it. But I was missing copy book number 3, Abaddon's Gate, and Joel had it for sale, so it's a win-win. Can't tell you anything about the book because I haven't read the series yet, but I know it deals. The whole series is a huge space epic dealing with interplanetary travel via a different propulsion system, or using like some gravity to launch themselves off, I guess? I'm not sure. Could be butchering the hell out of that. It was made into a TV show by Sci-Fi. I haven't seen that show yet either, so I really can't help you. Sorry. Anyways, the actual books you're probably here to watch, because these ones are a lot more exciting, are 2 Centipede Press titles. We're looking at The Survivor and The Jonah, both by James Herbert, which is also the author of the Rats trilogy. He did The Fog, which was also published by Centipede Press. He's got a lot published by Centipede Press. And Jared from Centipede Press is going back and giving the treatment to other Herbert titles. He did The Spear last year. These 2 were earlier this year. Didn't jump on any of them, but it was too good of a deal to not jump on this. So these are both unsigned copies, but I knew they're going to be unsigned. This one has Dust Jacket art by Kiren Bagshee. The Survivor, it's actually, I haven't read either of these. You know, I buy more books than I could possibly read. The Survivor actually sounds a lot like Survivor by Chuck Palahniuk. We have a little stamping on the cover there of the plane. The Survivor, you have a blind stamped skull on the spine there. That looks awesome. Cloth bound with top edge stain. Look at that. Kind of plain end papers, but that's fine. That's terrifying. I know it's got interior artwork by Rodger Gerberding, who did the interior artwork in both The Survivor and The Jonah. The Survivor deals with, well, a survivor of a plane crash, one of the co-pilots of this plane crash, who is inexplicably the only surviving passenger. I guess he's not really a passenger, but only surviving person from that plane. And he's got a lot of guilt, survivor's guilt. And being a co-pilot, I feel that he feels it's his fault. that makes good English. I talk English good. And the prologue is printed on the same glossy paper as the index, which is surprising, because the book itself isn't published on the glossy paper. Or is it? No, it's not. But page 1, we're keeping the glossy paper going. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, the signature pages, signature being like the grouping of pages, probably didn't have enough pages for just the cover gallery, so the first few pages are printed on the same glossy paper because it's the other half of the cover gallery. And on page 33, we're getting back into regular old print type on regular print paper. And yeah, so he's got some survivor's guilt going on, and after he survives this crash, there's some stuff going on in that picture. Some crazy things start going around this town, which are possibly linked to him surviving the crash. I'm not sure. I'll let you know after I read it. But the basic premise kind of reminds me of Survivor by Chuck Palahniuk, which deals with, once again, a man who survives a plane crash. Although that one really kind of delves more into him being a celebrity based off this, of not only surviving the plane crash, but also... No, it's not even a plane crash. No, I scratched that. I haven't read this book in years. He's on a plane, and he's going to commit suicide via plane. And the survivor actually deals with him being the survivor of a cult. He was the lone survivor of a cult, and he becomes a celebrity based off that, and he's decided to commit suicide via plane crash. And the entire novel was from his perspective of him narrating his life and narrating this tale while he's waiting for the plane to crash. There is a plane crash involved. I wasn't that far off. It's been a while. So here we've got an interview in the back with Herbert. Very cool. And that brings to the end of the Survivor. Up next is the Jonah, which, let me put that in the actual spot there. The Jonah, which sounds more like a police procedural. So Herbert did branch out from, or so I've read online, he did branch out from the horror genre. This one's got Ben Baldwin's artwork. You can definitely check out the Ben Baldwin artwork there. And it deals with a detective who is going to a small town. I believe it's a small town. Like the blind stamping is gorgeous, but then you actually have the little eyes there. That's really cool. No skull on the side of this one because the skull is on the front cover. Top edge stain again. This deals with a cop investigating kind of a drug ring. He's investigating some crazy LSD trips people are having in a small town. Once again, interior artwork by Rodger Gerberding. Gerberding? I feel like I'm talking like the Swedish chef when I say that. This one is really cool because it has a bunch of short stories and essays written by Herbert. So we have the cover gallery in the front again. And we're going to have some glossy pages just from the end, till we get to the end of the page signatures there before we get to the regular book proper, regular pages. So, good old detective is investigating kind of a crime ring in a small town. And I believe there is some supernatural thriller elements to it, but it's not a horror novel. At least not in the traditional sense, what I understand. At least in Herbert's traditional sense. He writes a lot of horror, and now he's kind of branching off into supernatural fiction, detective thriller. That was almost censored right there. And then you finally get to the back, and look at that. There's like a good eighth of the book left, full of short stories and essays and all sorts of fun stuff. And in the back would be the signature page, but there is no signature page because this is the unsigned copy. This was 2021? This was last year? Or maybe he had meant it to be last year. Or maybe time is irrelevant and this was last year and I'm just losing my mind. I don't know. Anyways, very, very nice books. Thank you very much, Joel, for the wonderful offer on these titles. They were filling some holes. Like I said, I had missed out on all the old Herbert titles. They had done The Fog, and they had done The Fog, the Rat Trilogy, and I missed out on The Spear. The Spear is actually pricier than both of these, so I don't know if The Spear was larger, or if it was just nicer quality, I don't know. But these are already nice quality. You already get gorgeous quality from Centipede Press, so I don't know. So I wasn't going to try to hop on the train this late. But you know what? Joel had one hell of a deal on these, and I am a level 5 susceptible, so I dove right into that deal. So thank you very much, Joel, for the beautiful pack job, the wonderful books. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you around next time.